What are the physical exam findings in a patient with severe MS? Let's go check it out together. To assess the characteristics of a murmur caused by MS, we use the word script. S stands for the site and location of the murmur. The best place to hear the MS murmur is at the apex area, and to hear the murmur better, we position the patient in the left lateral decubitus position. That means the patient lies on their left side. The letter C stands for character. The murmur caused by MS has a rumbling quality, meaning it sounds like a low-pitched growl. R stands for radiation. This murmur radiates to the LSB or left sternal border, and sometimes even to the axilla. I stands for intensity. The intensity of this murmur is variable and depends on various factors, especially the gradient across the valve. But usually, the murmur is mild in intensity and not very loud. P stands for pitch. The murmur caused by MS is low pitch and low frequency. Almost all heart sounds are high pitch and high frequency, except for the two sounds of MS and TS. The sounds caused by MS and TS are low frequency and low pitch. T stands for timing. The murmur caused by MS is mid-diastolic and gets louder just before S1, that is, at the end of diastole. This is called presystolic accentuation, and it happens because of left atrial contraction in patients who still have a sinus rhythm. What other features are seen in the physical exam of patients with MS? In patients with mitral stenosis, because the mitral valve becomes thickened and stiff, the S1 sound becomes loud. Of course, a loud S1 is seen in mild and moderate MS. But in cases of severe MS, the mitral valve becomes completely calcified and stiff, and it no longer moves. That's why a loud S1 is only heard in mild and moderate MS, not in severe MS. The next characteristic is the opening snap. The opening snap, or the sound of the mitral valve opening, is heard at the beginning of diastole, right after S2. Because, as we mentioned, heart sounds are usually due to the closing of the valves, not their opening. Unless there is a pathology present. In a patient with mitral stenosis, because the valves have become thick and stiff, their opening also produces a sound. And since the mitral valve opens at the beginning of diastole, we hear the opening snap sound immediately after S2. And the more severe the mitral stenosis is, the closer the opening snap gets to S2. Because the more severe the mitral valve stenosis, the higher the pressure in the left atrium. That's why, as soon as the systolic phase ends, the mitral valve opens and the interval between the opening snap and S2 decreases. And the less severe the mitral valve stenosis is, the greater the distance between the opening snap and S2 becomes. In other words, the length of the murmur also decreases. If you found this video helpful so far, please like it and share it with your friends. And if you don't want to miss my upcoming videos, please subscribe. Another characteristic in patients with severe MS is a loud P2. Meaning the sound of the pulmonary valve closing is heard very loudly. The reason for this is the development of pulmonary hypertension. In patients with severe MS, because the pressure in the left atrium increases, this pressure is transmitted to the pulmonary veins and from there to the lungs. As a result, it leads to pulmonary congestion and, over time, to pulmonary hypertension. Pulmonary hypertension then causes the pulmonary valve to close more forcefully, making the P2 sound louder. The next characteristic is found on palpation, where these patients have an RV heave. Following severe mitral valve stenosis, pulmonary hypertension develops, and this pulmonary hypertension causes the right side of the heart, meaning the RV, to enlarge. This enlargement of the RV can be felt on palpation as an RV heave. The next characteristic is JVP. The JVP is distended, the A wave becomes prominent, and a CV wave is seen. All of these occur in severe and long-standing cases that have led to pulmonary hypertension. So, the A wave becomes prominent, and the C wave merges with the V wave, creating a CV wave. The reason for the formation of the CV wave is the development of tricuspid regurgitation following pulmonary hypertension. The next finding is hepatomegaly and lower limb edema. In patients with severe MS, due to the development of pulmonary hypertension, the right-sided heart pressure increases, and this pressure is transmitted to the SVC and IVC, which in the SVC appears as JVP distension. And this increased pressure that is transmitted to the IVC leads to hepatomegaly and lower limb edema. Mitral stenosis is preload dependent, meaning that any factor that increases preload will intensify the MS murmur, and any factor that decreases preload and blood volume will reduce the intensity of the murmur. Therefore, the MS murmur decreases with standing and the Valsalva maneuver, but it increases with squatting and exercise. And the last characteristic is the arterial pulse. In patients with MS, because cardiac output is reduced, the pulses are usually weak and faint. On the other hand, due to enlargement of the left atrium and high pressure in the atrium, their rhythm is usually AF, so the arterial pulse is irregular and uneven. In patients with MS, at the end of diastole, the intensity of the diastolic murmur increases, which we call presystolic accentuation, and the reason for this is the contraction of the left atrium at the end of diastole. But this presystolic accentuation only occurs in patients who have a sinus rhythm and whose left atrium is still able to contract. However, in patients whose left atrium does not contract due to atrial fibrillation rhythm, we do not have presystolic accentuation either.